Hello and welcome to another video. It is Mother's Day in the UK, so I'm going to do a quick video about how you can arrange some supermarket flowers. If you were lucky enough to get some flowers, or any other time of year you pick yourself up a bunch or a friend buys you a bunch, how you can make the best of them. I used to be a florist, still am a florist I suppose in a way, I just don't make any money from that anymore, and it's something I absolutely love. I love colour, I love flowers, so I'm going to film it from above, so you won't be able to see my face and my concentration face while I'm doing this, but I'm going to film it so you can actually see it as if you were looking through my eyes, because it's easier to see it that way than we show it forward, if that makes sense. Hopefully you will be able to see exactly what I'm doing. So I've got the two lovely bunches of flowers that my beautiful girls bought me for Mother's Day. They bought me some beautiful mixed flowers there, and they bought me a lovely bunch of tulips. And all the vase I'm going to need is this. Not a vase, it's one of IKEA's colourful glasses, but I'd absolutely love the blue. It goes really beautifully with the colours, and just some string and some scissors. That is all you're going to need, okay? So I will see you in a minute. Okay, so I'm sure you can still hear me. The camera is essentially over my shoulder, so you can see, you should be able to see my hands. So I'm just going to prep the flowers first, okay, because it's very tempting to just shove them all into a vase, as they are, but actually they just need a little tiny bit of love and attention before you get there. So just strip the leaves off that are going to be below the waterline. Don't strip them all off. Some flowers like this gerbera, they haven't got any leaves on anyway. Now if you had any flower food come with the flowers, you want to make sure you add that to the water. It is there to enhance the life of your flowers. I'm going to take these little bits off. I'm going to save them. If they're too short then I won't, but so they're going to be below the waterline. Any leaves below the waterline just increases bacterial growth and will shorten the life of your flowers. So using a vase this small, you won't need the whole sachet, so I've just added half to this amount. Okay, this is very thorny. You can literally just snap them off. We used to have rose strippers in the florist, and I don't really like them because this is essentially like a wound in the stem. So that was going to let bacteria in and will actually shorten the life of your roses. So make sure you don't strip too much off like that. And then I've got one little bit of foliage, okay, which is really lovely. This is a type of foliage called a hebe. It's really cheap, really lovely, and just a sort of almost an evergreen. This will be the last thing alive in the vase, I promise you. So I've got one more there. Okay, so I'm going to start with this. And I'm going to break it into two because there's two pieces really that are it's going off in a separate direction. The idea is we're going to tie this in our hands. And it's going to be a circle. So we start off with the foliage first, okay? Now, when I was a florist, the idea being you start in the middle and work your way around the outside to create a circle, but for some reason mine always ended up going sideways. It always has a face, which is fine if you want, to stand against a wall, then it will have a face to go in one direction. But if you want it to look all around, then the easiest way to do that is to make sure that everything you put on one side, you put on the other. Now, this is going to be a technique called hand tying, where everything goes in one side and you can actually turn it around. And as you're adding flowers, you're creating a spiral of the stems, and that increases the water uptake and actually splays the top out. So if you picture an hourglass, that's what it will look like. Okay, so but I want my roses to be in the middle, so I'm going to start with a rose front and centre. Okay, gosh, this needs a little drink, this does. So then I'm going to go in with the tulips. I would love a lot more foliage with this because I absolutely love foliage, but you can go out in the garden and pick more foliage. I'm not going to for this, just so you can see what you can make out of something you would already have from the supermarket. But I've left the tulip leaves on, okay? I have not stripped them off as much as I can. This one might have to come off because it will be below the water. There we go. But you just turn it in your hand and you add it in coming from one side. I'm left-handed. If you want it right-handed, you can flip the video around. So I'm holding in my right hand, but if you were holding it in your left and adding it from the right, it would be exactly the same. It feels weird when you do it that way, but for me, there you go, you can see how kind-handed that is. It feels so much more natural. So if you see, I'm just going to add all the tulips in. I'm going to add 5 tulips, okay? And then I've got some left there, so there's 8 in the packet. So there we go, so I've added 5 tulips, okay? Then I've got these chrysanthemums. I'm going to add 1 in one side and then hold it, turn it around, and I've got 1 the same colour that I'm going to add in to the other side there, okay? Then I've got 2 more chrysanthemum flowers, 2 different colours. So because I have got 3 gerberas and those match the colours of the flowers I have left, I will be able to pop one side and 1 the other, therefore matching the colours, so it keeps that balance. So I'm going to start now by putting a big gerbera in. I work away from me, then with the stem coming towards you, okay? So then this yellow chrysanthemum is going to go opposite the yellow gerbera, okay? And then I'm going to turn it around. And I've got 2 tulips together. You see how things just group? That's fine. I'm not going to separate them because I'm more likely to damage it. And then pink gerbera in and pink chrysanthemum opposite. If a flower slips down, you can pull it up. Your hand shouldn't be so tight that you can't move the flowers around, okay? And then I'm going to pop in a couple more tulips when I've turned it around. 1 and 2. And then I'm going to pop in my orange gerbera. You can see the orange gerbera is a bit smaller. That's okay. And the orange rose I'm going to put next to it rather than opposite it. Okay. And then one last tulip. Perfect. So you can see here it's forming a circle. We've got the lines coming through it across the sides like that, like a triangle. The reason we try and stick to odd numbers rather than 4 is because your brain will automatically make a square if you have 4 of something. If you want a square, if you've got a square container, that's perfect. But you don't particularly want a square if you want it to look round. And then from the side, you can see it's got a naturally domed shape. And then to tie it, I loosen 1 finger and hook my string in it. And then I dip the whole bouquet upside down while wrapping the string around. Do that a couple of times and then put it on the bench to tie. I've got a Moni Spaniel because there's no food in this video. Sat back down now because I can't for this bit. I couldn't make a hand tie, sat down. I was a florist when I was pregnant with my second baby, and it was really hard when it was getting to, you know, your feet ache. And it's the thing I know Mother's Day, sharing with all my florist colleagues around the world, your feet are killing you, you really deserve a break tomorrow. So then to cut it, this is going to be my container and I want it to sit fairly low down in there. So I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut the long ends off first to make it a little bit easier to handle first, okay? And then you want it to sit 1/3, 2/3 is a nice proportion. It's pleasing to the eye and it's that golden, what's it called, golden equation, Fibonacci sequence. So there's all sorts of things in art that actually come in, and mathematics that all come into nature, and that's one of them. So I'm going to, you can just see where the level is going to be, and if you don't squeeze them too tight together because you'll ruin the shape of the actual arrangement. But the idea being, don't spin off everywhere, but the idea is it should be able to stand up on its own, okay? Because if I was in the florist shop, I would be wrapping this in cellophane, and then I'd be delivering it. I'd be pouring water down the centre and then delivering it. It's quite small at the bottom. It's kind of pushing all the stems in together. I think I might need to cut a tiny bit more off there. Ow, thorns. And then I'm actually going to cut the string. Okay. Because this is a vase arrangement rather than a rather than a hand-tied bouquet. I've cut the string because that's just to hold it in place where I want them. And now you can see it's all beautifully arranged. Ta-da! So happy Mother's Day, everyone. It's lovely. I love flowers, and if you want to see more floristry videos, give me a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button because it really does support me to make more videos, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!